Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. Carmen McGuinness. I'm very happy to be recording today from a beautiful mountain lake near Seattle, where I'm visiting my eldest daughter and her family this week. In the background you can hear loons on the lake. So this is not my topic this week, but before we start on the actual topic, I just want to touch briefly on the importance of getting out into nature when healing from an emotional trauma of any sort. There have been numerous studies conducted in ocean and forest settings such as this one, demonstrating that sunlight, vitamin D, fresh air, the fragrance of flowers, salt air, and the movement that tends to accompany nature are very real remedies for a broken heart or spirit. These studies have shown that it's not just the sights of water, grass, and skyscape, but also the smells and sounds of nature that set even the saddest of spirits on a better path. So now that I've said my piece on that, given you some advice, let's go on to our topic, which we'll address from this beautiful mountain lake in the Pacific Northwest. Last week, I talked about the importance of reflection back on what it means to you when you get stuck in thoughts about other people who are no longer or perhaps never were emotionally available to you during your relationship. Today we're going to look specifically at an example of when this might occur, when you might take a sense of overwhelm at your loss and turn it into a reflective experience instead of a downfall. The examples we'll explore today are, or I should say the example we'll explore today is that damn song on the radio. You know the one, that song. Whatever song it is for you, right? So what happens when you hear that song? Well, music is powerful. All of your senses might become engaged. It's known that music can ping any and every sense, bringing experiences from long, long ago right there into your car, into your living room, bedroom, or wherever it is that you listen to music. I'm going to share one such song from my own life with you today, and my experience in using that song towards self-discovery. And then I'm going to share another experience from a client of mine who's been very kind to allow me to share. So the song that got me was No More I Love Yous by Annie Lennox. And I can, even as I say the title, I can hear the tune in my mind. I know that the song probably completely gives away my age, but what the heck. We all know I'm old. In the winter of 2017, after I'd broken off with him, no name, that song, that particular song, caught my ear. I'd heard it before, of course. It wasn't a new song to me, but I hadn't heard it in years. And it was particularly poignant that day because everywhere else in my world at that moment, all I could hear was Christmas music. That's right, a broken love affair just a few weeks before Christmas. Ugh. But there I was, driving home from the mall where I'd been shopping for my children, when No More I Love Yous came on the radio. When I got home, after being completely brought to my knees by the song, I immediately added it to my miserable playlist. Now that's not my miserable playlist, although it was also that, but it's my miserable playlist. It was actually the name of a playlist that I had. Yes, I really did have a playlist called Miserable. Who knows how many times I spoke the words, Alexa, play Miserable for me, on loop. I can laugh about it now because a year and a half has gone by since, including many, many, many months of very difficult work getting myself to this particular moment. But back to the topic of the segment. It wasn't until I started asking myself, why this song, why these particular words, and most importantly the question, what does this mean about me, that I started to come out of it. What I realized from this particular song was that my own spoken words were doing a number on me. I confess I talk to myself a lot, and many of us do. And my own self-talk, I kept myself in a state of what I call ping pong. Now, if you haven't yet viewed my segment, The Six-Spoke Wheel of Recovery, please do. In it, I discuss ping pong as one of the spokes on the wheel. And ping pong is when we go back and forth between denial and anger as we recover from any kind of trauma. It was that particular song and Annie Lennox's words that helped me realize that when I let myself slip into denial, it was tremendously reinforcing for me. That it was actually preferable for me to be sad about losing him than to actually move on in my life. Who knows how many times I had to hear that song before I got it. And for me, it was the fact that my own words in my head were hypnotizing me like a drug. They kept me stuck in a past that was gone forever, and better so. And it's important, I think, to understand that sometimes the past is more comfortable than the future, because although it hurt, it also, obviously, or we wouldn't care that we'd lost it, had magical moments. And the future, we know nothing of, or at least we think we don't. So, funnily, I even realized that that love affair was better over, but I still mourned it. I still longed for it. It was the very line, "No more I love yous, language is leaving me, changes are shifting outside the word," that clicked that day. If you haven't heard the song, do listen. It's a great song with lots of talk about how we might lose our minds in the face of lost love. My second example is from a client, and we'll call him, for the purposes of this segment, we'll call him Jack. Jack is a 59-year-old man, surviving a divorce from his wife of 18 years. It was Jack's second marriage, and when he came to me, he described Sarah as the love of my life. Until the day he overheard his business partner on the phone and realized that Sarah was the love of Tim's life, too. Jack had been divorced for 2 years when he found me, and had made huge strides in setting the affairs of a broken business and marriage and heart straight. He'd bought Tim out of the business and gave Sarah their family home generously, taking only their small beach house where he now lives. Together, Jack and I worked through my wheel of recovery, and he was making great progress when we started examining a few areas where he was a little bit stuck. We settled on the music that Jack listened to on his 4-day-a-week, hour-and-a-half commute from the beach into town, where his business is, as one source of very rich material keeping him stuck. One of the songs he identified was "Someone to Lay Down Beside Me" by Carla Bonoff. That's a tip-off for Jack's age, 59. After 2 sessions on this song, Jack and I realized, or I should say Jack realized, it was someone to hold him and care for him that he missed most about Sarah. And in his own words, someone to mother me. From there, we were able to move on to the relationship between Jack and his own mother, and iron out some wrinkles that had haunted him for decades. And more relevant to his current life, we were able to identify where he was going wrong with women that he dated in the 2 years since his divorce. So that's me and Jack. But what does this all mean for you? And what parting advice do I have for you? Well, other than to listen to those words in those songs that you listen to and ask yourself, what do they have to do with me? What do they mean about me? Number 1, get out in nature. It'll help, believe me. When you listen to the music, this is number 2. When you listen to the music of your life, ask the difficult question, what does this mean about me? Number 3, if you need more help than you get on the internet and from friends, reach out to someone like myself. There are local therapists for you, and many of us here on YouTube have HIPAA-secure internet interfaces where we see clients. I myself am certified to treat people in multiple states, so reach out if you need help. And number 4, last but not least, don't struggle when you can soar. Your best days are ahead of you. Really, they are. Really. As always, I sincerely hope this segment helps. I'll be back home in rural Orlando next time you see me. I'll be in my own fairy garden there. Until then, be safe and be peaceful. Keep an open mind and heart. Remain flexible in your thoughts, body, and actions. And remember to love yourself. See you next week. Thanks again for stopping by.